Oh yeah, A tier is Wraith, Freddy, Singularity, Pig, Doc, and Unknown and Cenobite is there for like a bit of like a reference, pretty much. And
Yeah.
S tier is Demogorgon, Blight, Clown, Wesker, Billy, Nurse, and Huntress. Although Billy, Nurse, and Huntress aren't actually officially on the ladder.
Hmm.
So with those killers, you're allowed 3 perks on the survivor side. Then the killers are allowed 1 perk, even Blight, but Blight's allowed only things like Enduring or Bamboozle. He's not allowed Brutal because that's a bit much. But
Yeah.
see, now we have
You got your
an
Freddy
actual
match anyway.
face.
You got your Freddy
Yes,
match anyway. Yeah, so
and
yeah, we didn't have time to introduce the new players that we've got. I'm actually trying to look at the matchup here. It's
we've got
Vogue.
pxpx and or Eternity.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
pxpx is very well known in the ladder community because of a certain thing called pxpx RNG, which
Right.
is basically just God RNG every single game.
Nice.
That's
Well, maybe we can
that,
get a little more this game. All right, gonna
yeah.
be starting it off. Time for Freddy. Right, let's see what we can expect to see. Some interesting use of the pallets, a use of the power as well. Again, there's an element of where do you shoot it. Obviously, you want to. It's better if you hit them with it. Are you going to aim before them? Is the survivor going to try and preempt it and maybe back up just so you don't get hit with the hinder? In this case, you're just going to eat it anyway because you don't think it's going to, affect the chase too much. Has yet to be seen, but it seems pretty likely. Never mind, we do have a filler here. Unfortunately, that snare just went a teeny bit wide and therefore going to struggle for it.
Ooh, pxpx reads him on the insta break. And so now he has this car filler here. Now this actually is check spottable, even without finesse, on good ping. So as long as, he uses his live now. I assume that he would have camped to that. Now he gets hindered, so he wasted all of his live and no, he does not get here. He has this filler. Oh, Eternity swings for that, thinking that he can maybe hit it. He's gonna have to insta break this, and now he has Shaq, I think. Did he use Shaq? I don't even remember actually.
No, Shaq just hasn't been used. Shaq pallet is still available, but Ehh's going to run all the way over to the other side. Barely gets a hit. It was the hinder that came through while trying to path to that pallet and just didn't quite get there in the nick of time. First hit came through at about the 110 mark. Now injured up is Vogue, means that resilience is going to kick in. Shaq pallet going to be dropped, insta-broken, of course. What else do you have to work with? T and L wall. Not really where you want to be. Crane's definitely a lot safer for you. Of course, it's going to be pretty difficult for the Freddy to play around this, even with those hinders. So you're just going to have to insta-break the pallet, and Ehh's just going to have to reset back over to this one. It seems to be a case of, even with the hinder, you can't play around a ton of these pallets. You just get the slow and then break to make sure the survivor doesn't get as much distance. That hinder is going to be pretty deadly though, and it's going to result in the hit. Almost a kind of 2-minute on the dot chase. I think 201, 202 possibly. 203 exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
then. Maybe my timing is pretty good. But yeah,
203,
very
good chase. 203 is a very good chase for Versa Freddy. Now he had a lot to work with. He had that rock filler right off the start, which he got free distance due to Eternity trying to mind game Shaq and pxpx not really playing Shaq, just instantly leaving it. And then he had 2 really nice fillers right next to that, leading into Shaq. Now I think he made a bit of a mistake there. I think he misjudged the hindered. He tried to go for that rock filler on 7, but he didn't quite make it. So he could have gone to Shaq and been perfectly safe and delayed the hit for even longer. But it was still very well played. Now, he had Crane into a dumpster filler, which very strong pallets. They're essentially just God pallets. Like Crane 100% is, and dumpster filler is as long as the survivor doesn't mess up. But Eternity is also running live and resi. I'm surprised they're not bringing finesse because Freddy is a bit like Clown in a way where you mainly just want to camp pallets. You don't really want to play around them. And while finesse doesn't work on windows because of the hindered, if you didn't know, when you're hindered and you try to fast vault to window, you can't. If you're hindered by Freddy or Clown, so it simply doesn't work. So finesse does nothing for windows, but it does help on pallets when you have to camp them. So this is a bit interesting, but live resi also very good choices, of course.
Yeah. Okay, going to be started off now. Yeah, live and resi going to be pretty good. Want to do maybe a quick little review of what we have working around Shaq. There are a couple of, it seems, filler tiles that you can chain this into. Actually slowed up. Are you going to be forced to... Ooh, you're going to be forced to drop Shaq palette in the first 20 seconds. I think, you know, we compare this how that last chase went. I don't think Shaq was used for a good minute or so. Life is also going to be burnt as well. So those are two big resources, Shaq palette and life, now both gone. Remember, 2 minutes, 3 seconds is what you need to be dealing with here. And you're able to get over to this pallet. You want to camp it, but I think this is definitely playable for the Freddy right now. Eternity is, I mean, playing like an absolute lunatic to try and hold on, but you're not able to do it. 46 seconds is when that first hit comes out. Eternity, you're able to get over to this 4 lane, and you get a crane of your own. But does this crane connect into anything? That's what I want to see. It doesn't look like it.
It does not look like this crane connects to anything. So what's probably going to happen is he's going to hinder him and then instantly break this. Now, he may have had to drop a god pallet, but Eternity gets like no distance. And he's able to make this 4-lane window, but he doesn't really have anything after that. He has to play the 4 lane here. He might even get hit, actually. Oh! pxpx greets for the hit, but Eternity gets the stun. And now he has Shaq. He has Shaq window, and he also has a filler right next to it. Doesn't go for it, though. He goes for the filler on 2, actually. Which, this is pretty safe. He might be able to do something on this. PX... Ooh. Kind of pre-vaulting there. pxpx is probably just going to hinder this, and then... Oh, never mind.
Doesn't even need the hinder, just has the big brain on him, I guess, with just brutal strength and a little bit of hope. Not the perk, the concept, I guess. 144, it seemed that final one was. Yeah, 144 on the dot. And yeah, that's going to be first round. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I mean, again, 144 is a very good time. I think we're kind of accepting the standard that we have in this tournament. Like, yeah, 144 in a 1v1 against Freddy is still very respectable. It's not 2 minutes, but, like, again, none of these players are really underperforming today. It's just some are performing better than others.
Yeah, see, on that 4 lane where Egg got hit, pxpx hindered him so that he couldn't leave the pallet. He could run around the other side of the wall without getting hindered, and that was a free hit. And he also couldn't, like, if he won the 50-50, he'd still be hindered after. So he got hindered and lost the 50-50. So that was a very big hit. And then it seemed like he kind of panic vaulted on that car. He did have Resi, so he could have check spotted that, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty confident in saying that he could have check spotted it. So it seemed a bit more of like a bit of a panic, kind of like trying to pre-vault him and get some distance on him. But now we've got one of my favorite sets. We've got the Booba.
Yes, unfortunately, this chase does not go to the basement, as thematic as that would be. Eternity going to begin running Shaq over on this side. Kind of makes sense from this angle. You can get yourself over to the fun bus and this car filler as well. It's going to be an interesting strat to see. Again, I'm just interested in how the Bubba 1v1 tends to go. Of course, shredding pallets is never going to be a problem. I'm interested to see, you know, how hard do these... because this is something that I'm just unfamiliar with. How hard these Cannibal players play for just like the insta-down with the chainsaw, or just using it to help in chase and taking injuries if need be.
It's extremely RNG dependent. Typically, if you have like no safe tiles and you have no fillers, you might want to play for the M2 because obviously you're not going to be able to get much time out of it anyway. But typically what you do is you play for the M1. You try to play for the M2 to shred through the pallets and also that risk. So the survivor can't really greed things properly because there is that chance of you getting insta-downed. So they just play mainly for the M1 and try to get that 2-tap M1 chase. Eternity playing this very well. He's got his finesse back up, so he's going to be able to make this filler on mid-map, I believe. I don't think there's anything pxpx can do to stop it, actually. Yeah, no, he can't.
Yeah,
he has... Ooh, he swings expecting him to maybe greed, but also camp it, so he makes Shaq window because of it.
And then just slams it in the... There's not even a stun, just slams it right in front of his eyes. We're at 1:30 on the clock right now. Eternity, not so much to scratch on him. Not due to lack of trying on pxpx's part. It's been some good work thus far. Eventually able to get over to this TNL wall. Utilizes the finesse. Seems like an injury is almost certain here. but you are in the own for just a second. But yeah, you don't have time to get the chainsaw off. So injury first hit comes at around the 150 mark or so. You don't have a shack pallet to work with any longer, but you still have the shack window. I believe that the pallet on this car has been used, but you have another. I don't think if there was even a pallet there, but you're going to be able to connect it back into that filler tile and then the window over here as well. I'm interested to see because you approach this from a bit of a strange angle, and I think that you do end up eating the down for it. 2 minutes and 22 seconds, I believe. The official time on the clock, 2:23.
Yeah, that was a very good chase by Ed there. He tried to kind of greed that that LT or that wannabe LT there,
Yeah.
trying to make that rock filler over on I believe it was on 4. Yes, it was on 4, and he wanted to try to make that because obviously that filler behind him wasn't very safe, and that tile he was on also isn't very safe. But pxpx reads that and cuts him off from it, and then he was in a really bad position on that tile and just simply couldn't do anything. But he played that extremely well. That was Bubba hitting those pallets was extremely funny. Very much seems that Bubba is not an environmentalist.
I mean that's also very on brand. Have you seen Texas Chainsaw films?
I actually have not, strangely enough. I think actually no, I've seen a little bit of the original, but I don't actually watch horror movies that much.
It's pretty on brand for a pallet to just be dropped on Bubba's head, and instead of like trying to go around it, he just kind of hits it with a hammer over and over again, just out of out of sheer force of will.
That makes sense why I see those kinds of Bubbas in my pub lobbies. they're being more accurate. That explains it.
Any time that a Bubba's just like chilling around the hook. I mean, that's where the concept of the meat hook came from. Texas Chainsaw. Onto the chase. You got an entire shack to work with for pxpx. Remember, 2:24 is the time that you are looking to beat, and it's where are you? Going.
Eternity, Eternity, I think is I don't know, trying to look for someone else. I think he's trying to look for the Atom on this map. Unfortunately, there isn't one. There's only an Ace. So bit unfortunate. But so now pxpx not only has to use no pallets, now shack window is also unblocked, and it's as if though the chase has only just now started, with already almost a minute into the match.
You didn't even burn your life, and now you're able to use it as well to get yourself over to Shack Pallet, and you don't even need to burn that yet because you have the pallet at this jungle gym over here instead to work with. Now that is going to be shredded through. We are now at the minute mark. No injury came through yet. I believe it was about 150 or so for the injury in the last chase, so provided that you can hold on not being injured for another 40 seconds or so, or right now actually, really struggled at that 4 lane there.
Yeah, pxpx did not see the red stain through the wall for some reason, so it did not see him actually double back and ended up getting him one. But that's perfectly fine because it's a Bubba. Obviously, he wants to play mainly with the M2, and now he has resilience. So Bubba obviously has Bamboozle and Dark Arrogance, so these vaults are very quick. But if he ends up getting stunned, it can be a lot of time waste.
I mean, there's so much risk. These players definitely know the timing for, stunning Bubba, but there is always that inherent risk of if I'm playing around the stun, well, I'm just going to eat the hit anyway, and it's going to be a tough one. Chainsaw used here, again, it's just another resource gone. You gotta hold on for 40 more seconds, and I think you are slowly running out of resources, running out of time. You get this fill over here. I mean, this kind of trash pile, it's not amazing for you. You greed the Are you able to get through to the other side? No, you're not. I mean, trying to make the best out of a bad situation, but things did kind of go downhill. An official time of 2 minutes and 15 seconds. It's now 1-1 in this series.
Now that was looking extremely promising for pxpx. He got so much distance and he wasted so much time. And it was as if though the chase had only just started 40 seconds into the match. So it was looking extremely good for him, but he ended up just getting M1 mind games on that 4 lane, trying to avoid getting the chainsaw hit, and then just didn't really have a whole lot to work with afterwards. And Eternity also playing that extremely well, just instantly breaking some of the pallets where he knew that he could zone him, and then holding W with those double speed add-ons on that tile over there, which means you can't really greed. You really cannot greed versus double speed Bubba. It is extremely risky. So I think that was a bit of a mistake on pxpx's part, but it's still very well played from both sides.
Yeah, no. Again, the standard of all of these is so unbelievably high, but the numbers don't lie. 244 is bigger than 2 minutes. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? So going to be over to something a little more familiar. Demogorgon over at Shack now. I'm interested to see how long do you want to hold on to the Shack pallet for? Again, what we saw in the last round from Pedro was, I think, forcing the break of that so early, and it's also going to be a break at about the 15-second mark. Not something that you have to work with, but you are able to chain it over into this car filler over here. So, you know, there have been worse days at the office for you. Forcing another break, get over to the T&L wall. You do use your life, and you're able to make some distance on it. That's your kind of half of a health state gone for the time being. And now, for Demo, going to be vaulting the window. I think Bamboozle is in play. And you're going to have to get over here, but you're not able to do it. First hit at the 43-second mark.
And now, he may get hit, but you believed it was Bamboozle. It's not Bamboozle, actually. It is Dark Arrogance.
I see.
He has... So, not only did he get the pallet drop on him and the stun, he gets an extra long stun because of the Dark Arrogance. So now he actually makes more...
Oh, wait. Oh, what?
A bit of a miscalculation on pxpx's part. Eternity just reads the fact that he's going to run through the pallet and to drop it, but pxpx doesn't even drop it. He just runs straight past it and gets downed instantly.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, severe miscalculation there.
Yeah, we have
106.
Now 106. Now, obviously, that could have been much longer. Had pxpx actually played that filler, he could have probably got upper range of like 120, maybe 130. But 106 doesn't really seem that impressive. But we saw in the last game with Pedro and Marcos that Pedro was able to down Marcos in 58 seconds. So it is still winnable, actually. This is not a free win, but Eternity is also a very good Survivor player, and it's relatively easy for him to beat this.
Yeah, and I think Demo... Again, if we're talking about kind of the difference between, 4v1, 1v1, this is about kind of on par. This is about average for a Demogorgon, about the 1 minute mark, maybe slightly more. Really, in 1v1s is, absolutely phenomenal. There's a reason it's in the S tier. There's a reason that Eternity gets up being 3 perks along. Resilience, Live, and Finesse all going to be pretty damn helpful for you. And going to be starting things off now at the Shack. Time has started, 106 time you need to beat.
Now, one thing I want to point out is that Marcos actually only brought 2 perks that last game. So Eternity already starting off with advantage. Now, that's not Eternity's fault. pxpx should know the rules and knows that he can bring 3 perks. But he only brought Live and Resi, so maybe a Finesse could have helped him at one point. So Eternity bringing these 3 perks is going to be extremely helpful. And he uses these 2 pallets really quickly, but he has another one to work with and still has Shack as well. Shack window to work with. So it seems pxpx is going to try to outplay this because he doesn't really have anything else safe nearby.
Yeah, but you're kind of stuck here for Eternity. Even if you're able to buy some more time here, it's kind of inevitable the hit would come through. But now you've got less than 20 seconds for pxpx to get the hit off to keep your hopes of this tournament alive. I saw the vision there, but unfortunately it's just not to be. 5 seconds left on the clock. You can't really force the pallet break. It'll just take too long, and I do believe that's... Wait, hang on. Wait a minute. This is going to be a photo finish. This is actually a photo finish.
Yeah, that's a win. That's a win for Eternity.
Oh my god.
3-second difference. See, this is what I was saying. 106 seemed very winnable because obviously pxpx could have gotten much longer. But Eternity still able to only pull out a 3-second win off of that. But he played extremely well, and now that means, unfortunately, we're going to say bye to pxpx.